Healthy Business Connect Us empowers families to thrive through holistic well-being, early child development, and accessible healthcare.
We are committed to fostering connections, knowledge sharing, and support networks that enhance the physical, mental, and emotional health of children, parents, and caregivers.
By building bridges between healthcare providers, social services organizations, educators, and families,
we aspire to create a world where every child experiences a healthy and nurturing start.
Setting the foundation for a brighter future.
Tammy Hawkins, TAMMY, HAWKINS. District 1 Councilwoman.
Fantastic. Okay, so just start by giving a general overview of these meetings. You guys have been having them for a while.
Yes, we've had a total of 3 thus far. We plan to have 2 more meetings before the end of the year. Going into the new year, basically invading the areas that need us.
And talk to me a bit about the history of your district as far as what you've seen in terms of violence.
Very disheartening. There's been a mass amount of homicides still unsolved. There's been a tremendous amount of shootings. I know that they say that the data has went down. I don't believe that. I believe that every day it is a homicide. Every day it is a shooting. And I just think that a lot of the areas that a lot of the other programs are at just are not getting the job done. So I'm definitely depending on the community, relying and listening to the community to come together and start policing our own community, start taking our own neighborhoods back. I feel like that if you've never understood the culture that that a lot of these things are happening in, there is just no way that you can come up with a solution if it's not something that you really come from. It's really hard to tell somebody something that you've never experienced, right? There's a lot of things that come from and that leads to violence. People just don't wake up one day and say, hey, I just want to go outside and commit this crime, or hey, I just want to do this. It comes from a series of things that if you don't have a set of lenses to look into, you'll just feel like that, hey, someone just got up. But no, it comes from housing issues, food insecurities. It comes from a various amount of things that leads to violence.
And those are things that, as you said earlier, they put children and people into survival mode. Could you tell me more about that?
Well, I always say that there are 2 types of survival modes. And I try to get everyone to look at it like that. And I look at it like both survival modes are one, you have children and youth that come from a 2-family home, right? 2 parents in the home. And when they go out to the bus stop, they may have on new Jordans, or they may be privy to their parents dropping them off to school, just different things like that. So they're in survival mode. They have to protect themselves. They have to protect the fact that they come from a white picket fence, right? So sometimes they have to act when they in school. They have to act like that they want to be a part of a gang because they don't want to seem privileged, right? And then the other survival mode is people that, they don't have that opportunity to be a kid. They worry the burdens of their parents on their shoulders. They see the things that their parents go through, and it puts them in survival mode. Survival mode meaning steal, kill, rob, do whatever, because they're in survival mode. They see their family struggling. They see their parents LG&E getting cut off or sleeping on an air mattress, and they just want the opportunity really just to be a kid. A lot of our youth are in survival mode.
And to that start?
Well, it starts with empowering the community. I'm a firm believer that if you don't reach out to the community, if you don't listen to the people that live in those neighborhoods, you won't come up with the solutions that will reduce and slow down the things that are going on in a lot of these neighborhoods and just around the entire city. Who knows the neighborhood better than the people that live there and that come from it, right?
What about, obviously you're a boots on the ground sort of councilwoman, you got your ear to the ground, you're out there, you're living it, but is there anything that you've gotten from the community as far as feedback that has surprised you?
One of the biggest things that I've gotten thus far is being able to find a way out. If a family has been impacted by, their homes being shot up, just not having anywhere to go right then and there, being relocated. There is a particular criteria, and even like if a family, if their house catches on fire, what if you're not from the city and you move here, right? You don't have a lot of family. There is no programs out there that can relocate them. There's no program out there that has built relationships with hotels to be able to assist that family with that immediate need. So it's just having the immediate need, whether they was impacted by gun violence, whether they was impacted by fire. It's not just preventative, you know, measures, and immediate, just not being able to have that immediate vessel to say, hey, we have 10 hotels that we're connected with. And just depending on, you know, what went on with you is depending on where we can relocate you to. So that is something that saddens me, that there are so many barriers that does not allow the city to relocate, families that are in danger, right? It's just a lot of red tape, and I'm going to do everything that I possibly can because it doesn't always have to be that a family did something. It could just be that you was in the wrong place, the wrong time, and you seen the shooter, and the shooter seen you. Well, you need to be relocated because it was right there, right? Just until they're apprehended, or just things like that. Or if, if there was a home invasion, right? And how do you protect that family? There is nothing and no one here that can assist the family immediately, right? It's a whole bunch of investigating. Well, I got to find out this, and I got to find out that, and I got to talk to this person, and I got to talk to that person. No, it's just, and it makes families get very irritated. It makes them feel like, well, just forget it, you know? So I think that is one of the most concerning issues that I'm going to really take a look into and see if we can get just a little bit more resources that doesn't have a lot of the red tape for that solution.
And then as far as what you're pitching in terms of community, kind of taking back community and self-policing to a degree, I mean, that's sort of an approach that's been around forever, but do you think in lieu of recent Louisville history, especially as it relates to violence, that we finally come to that enough is enough tipping point in certain communities where they're like, we got to do this now?
Yeah, I think now is the best time. Like it's often that people have community meetings, but every last one of the community meetings that I've had has had nothing less than 100 people. Every meeting that I've had, it's went from the first meeting 300, the second meeting 175, and today's meeting was like close to 200. So it lets me know that I'm doing the right thing. Me, my colleague, Dan Sams, he's sure of public safety. He was here today. So it lets me know that I do have the ear of my council members. It lets me know that I have the ear of the cities. And also it lets me know that the community and the city, they trust me, and that's a big piece to any of this. Just believing that someone can make a difference, right? So that is why this means so much to me. And I know that there has to be a series of meetings because all the time, at every meeting, I don't expect everyone to be able to make it. But out of these 5 meetings, I'm asking everyone to show up because at the end of the day, if you cannot be a part of the solution, it lets me know that you're part of the problem. Don't jump on Facebook talking about, well, I'm sick of this and I'm sick of that, and then you've not showed up one time, right? Because right here, we want to be a listening ear. We want to hear every need that the community has, right? I know we rely on Facebook a lot. I'm guilty of that, saying, hey, where can I get this from? Where can I get that from? You need to come here. We also have someone here that also can give you an immediate resource, everything but relocation. You can pull up at any of our community meetings, whether it's a place to stay for the night, if it's a food, whatever that is, you can show up and we have that quick resource for you for tonight.
And you spoke about taking action at this meeting, and it looks like today that action is real, pun intended. Tell me a little bit about real and some of the expectations you have with it.
Okay, well, REAL is a bunch of community leaders from all over, different walks of life, all the way from mental therapists to community to just, I've just basically allowed the community to come in and form their own group. Real alternative community, initiatives. Just to, embrace their communities, be in these safe spaces, talk about your needs, come up with solutions. One solution is not going to fix all the problems that are out there, right? And there are so many people every day that I see quick to tell communities what they need, and they don't even come in the communities that, it's quick to say what a community needs, but, like our parks, it's quick to say what our parks need, but it's parks that you've never walked in, played in, so I'm a firm believer that, people empowering the people from these communities, because if we don't take our communities back, guess what? They talk about the police coming in our communities, doing what they want to do, right? So if we're not forming neighborhood block watches, if we're not bringing HOAs back, if we're not, when we see something, say something, then guess what? It's our fault.
I'm curious, as far as scalability or just a timeline, you said this initiative, Real, is going to start hitting the streets in January 2026. What are you hoping to see January 2027?
January 2027, I am hoping to see that this team has been built in all 26 districts, right? That is one thing that I do believe that some of the initiatives that has been followed, it has been structured by the administration, and Greenberg really just adopted what's already been there. But preceding him, I know that there was Office for Safety, Healthy Neighborhoods, and then after that, it was Office of Violence Prevention. I think that those groups, they go out and they just handpick kids, right? They don't get those kids from the juvenile justice system. They don't get those kids in those high-risk areas, right? This group, I think, is empowering the community, and they have background of being, and knowing how to gravitate to those kids, right? And they're in these communities, and I think that that is something that our city is lacking. We haven't really empowered. Too worried about people's backgrounds, too worried about, oh well, the resume doesn't fit, fit this. It doesn't take a resume. What it takes is real life experiences, things that people has been through in life that makes them a credible messenger. So that's what this group is. And, it has, even mental therapists, it has street widows. They're going to be dealing with parenting. So it's starting all the way from, it's just not gravitating to the youth, right? We're showing parents when they're having trouble at home, how to be parents, but in the same time, giving them the resources that they need to thrive. So I think that that's what's missing. So if I can get my colleagues on Metro Council, if I can get the city to believe in this, right? I think that we can make a difference. I think that this group of empowered community leaders can be the game changer that the city has needed, not just the West End, but the entire city, all 26 districts. And if they don't need them right now, they will soon.
I'm curious, for those listening or will listen later, what is the message to those who may be interested in joining this race?
So they can contact my office, or they have a website, and I can lead them to race, because I'm not a part of race. I'm not a part of that. Is community led. No. That's okay. And I'm just, yeah, it is race. So I'm just kind of supporting what they have built from the community meetings. So I lead the community meetings. I get the community here. It's up to them and the community to come in and tell this collective group, and they're open to adding. We want to see more people at all these, everybody we want to have on a race shirt. So it's just not a collective group by themselves. They want more people to join. Power comes in numbers. So that's important to me. And I work for every group. I work for every nonprofit. I work for the people. So it's just my job is to get everybody together, to listen to the needs of the people, and to help the people and be the vessel for the people that want to lead these initiatives.
And last question for me, sorry. For those communities where English is a second language, what is your hope to getting them involved in race and this entire, what feels like a movement?
Yes. I advise for the next community meeting, be on the look for it. I always put it on my page. So we'll have one probably right after Thanksgiving or right before Thanksgiving. We'll have one. We're probably going to be giving out some turkeys here. So I don't know if it is going to precede the capacity. Today, it almost preceded it. And look, Dan, that's the chair of public safety. So him showing up, it speaks value. So thanks for showing up. This is my colleague, Dan Symes, public safety chair, and I'm his co-chair. So race came in front of public safety last week, just to explain to Metro Council what their coalition was. And I mean, the council was really, they was really excited. Yeah.
I was with you on that turkey giveaway last year.
I know,
like a couple hundred in like 20 minutes.
I know.
Hey y'all, I'm Attica Scott, former Kentucky State Representative, and you're joining me today on State Watch Nights.
We will continue to provide updates as we have more information.
Former Kentucky State Representative, and you're joining me today on State Watch Nights.